Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Gabriela Becerra.
And I'm Andre Sims. Thank you for joining us. Voters have just 2 weeks to register for the general elections, an issue that's important enough that one group is coming all the way from Washington to get Valley residents registered tomorrow. Charlene Santiago reports from our Washington bureau.
In the 2016 election, only 40.5% of Hispanics in Arizona were registered to vote. Unidos US is partnering with Promise Arizona to change that with a voter registration drive tomorrow in Phoenix.
We know that there's a lot of energy right now because of the midterms, and we want to make sure that we are mobilizing and energizing people, giving them the tools that they need to make sure that they register their friends and family ahead of the November 6th election.
The goal is to increase the percentage of Latino voters, but Hernandez said the registration drive tomorrow isn't exclusively for Latinos.
There's room for everybody. We're expecting a good number of people, either you are Latino or you're not. Come and learn the tools to get your family and your friends registered.
A panel will discuss with attendees what their votes can do for them and for others.
We're going to be talking about why their stories are important, what the issues are going to be at stake for November 6th, and that they can take action.
Promise Arizona is one of 22 Unidos US partners in 13 states, and the two groups have collaborated on voter drives in previous elections. And Unidos US has been doing this since March with its partners in other states.
But we have been working with them for months, and
the latest drive is not limited to this weekend, as voter registration by Promise Arizona will continue until the October 9th deadline. The free event will run from 9:30 to 3 p.m. at the South Mountain High School, and Spanish speakers will be available. Hernandez says the event is a wake-up call that must be answered.
And make sure that you're making your voice heard, because it does count.
In Washington, Charlene Santiago, Cronkite News.
It's been a year since Hurricane Maria ravaged Puerto Rico, and last night dozens of people gathered in Phoenix offering their prayers and support. Cronkite News reporter Abdel Jimenez spoke to some of the survivors who are still feeling the weight of the disaster's aftermath.
Esta es la linda tierra que busco yo.
Candles flickered against the Phoenix night sky Thursday, as dozens of people came together, remembering the victims whose lives were taken in Puerto Rico by Hurricane Maria 1 year ago. Phoenix's Faith Lutheran Church filled with those who say they're stronger 1 year later, finding that strength in numbers, but many still feeling the effects of the monster storm.
I have a health condition and my son is a special needs kid.
Waleska Marquez came from the town of Yabucoa 8 months ago. She says she has fibromyalgia, a chronic disease that causes pain in the muscles and ligaments.
Doctors told me they weren't going to provide me with any more medication, the only one I could use. And it's the only thing that keeps me standing. I have a little one that I have to help study, I'm at his meetings, take to school, and I have to get better for him.
Marquez says it's moments like these that continue to heal her and other hurricane survivors.
We just wanted people to have some sort of closure for that, traumatic event that has gone on for many months.
People were given these paper-cut green leaves. They were to write a prayer on them so then they could hang up on this tree to commemorate the lives that were lost in Hurricane Maria.
While Marquez says she's grateful to be alive and with her son, she still longs for her island home.
I wanted to wake up at my own home in Puerto Rico.
In Phoenix, Abdel Jimenez, Cronkite News.
Our temperatures are back in the triple digits following this week's rain.
It doesn't quite feel like the start of fall yet. Micah Bledsoe is tracking our weekend forecast.
Temperatures right now are at 97 degrees. It's still a little bit muggy outside, which is why the dew point is at 58 degrees. Moving forward, tonight is football night, high school football. You guys can expect temperatures in the valley to be 94 degrees at kickoff, but at halftime, you can expect temperatures to drop just a little bit in the 90s. Tomorrow in the morning, temperatures will start off at 84 degrees. By midday, we can expect 95 degrees. And by the afternoon, you can expect 99. Not too hot, but still almost in the triple digits. Moving to our high temperatures for tomorrow. Flagstaff is a great time, or tomorrow is a great day to travel to Flagstaff. And they are experiencing a high of 75 degrees, while Phoenix is experiencing a high of 101. Way west, we can see that Bullhead City is at 105. This weekend, temperatures are going to be pretty warm, 101 Saturday and Sunday, but Monday we're going to drop back down. Throughout the rest of the week, you can expect triple digits. But this week, we can also expect temperatures to drop down into the 70s finally. In the Cronkite Weather Center, Micah Bledsoe.
Governor Ducey is just one of the many elected officials running for office right now. It's hard to miss the number of campaign ads running, but where do the candidates stand on the issues you care about? Tanaya Williamson reports. For that, you may want to catch a debate.
There, but there's a difference between the Red for Ed movement and the Arizona Education Association.
I understand that, but I think that's a distinction without a difference. Every pronouncement I saw on Red for Ed had Joe Thomas, the president of the AEA, standing next to Noah Carvelis, the self-proclaimed socialist, who is your campaign consultant.
Even in an office like the Superintendent of Public Instruction, debates can get heated. But there's a call to focus more on the issues and less on the mudslinging. Remarkably, we're all Americans. But you wouldn't guess it by the political games that are going on now. We are so polarized right now as a nation. Joseph Garcia is the director of Latino Public Policy Center at the Morrison Institute for Public Policy at ASU and says that civil discourse is missing in the world of politics. So what happens in politics now is whichever party is in the control, whether it be in the legislature or it be in Congress, pretty much steamrolls over the minority party. For some, voting can be a very daunting task. Entities like the Citizens Clean Elections Commission exist to help make that an easier process. The Citizens Clean Elections Commission was created by voters in 1998. And what the Clean Elections Act provides for is a number of different programs designed to bring voters into the system and try to push corruption out of the system. The commission also sponsors debates. Thomas Collins believes that even though it is frowned upon by some, that mudslinging is just what some people are looking for. Voters will tell you that they don't like mudslinging. Political consultants will tell you that voters may not like mudslinging, but voters respond to mudslinging. But the commission does work to enforce campaign finance rules and provide some funding to those running for office who abide by their rules. In Phoenix, Tanaya Williamson, Cronkite News.
After seeing a lack of resources for urban Native business owners, one woman from ASU's American Policy Institute wanted to make a difference. Sammy Jeebers reports on how Indigenous entrepreneurs were able to add more tools to their belt.
It's music to the ears. Well, maybe not our ears.
Pour it in there, and it creates a casting.
For Raquel Kemp, craftsmanship is just as important as blending in her culture.
It's all in my jewelry. Every single piece, it's, my heritage.
She runs an online business where she makes Indigenous woman-made jewelry and prints.
Everything that I would need to create is in this room.
She felt like something was missing for Natives and their small businesses.
Something to help us along the way, just to start us off. Really wasn't anything that I had found, except for, the Innu nations.
I realized that there's nothing out there for tribal businesses.
Moore saw a lack of resources specifically for urban Native entrepreneurs. She started an initiative dedicated to supporting business owners.
We just wanted to serve the urban Native community and give them a place to call home.
8 businesses from surrounding states and multiple tribes came to ASU for intensive training in finance, marketing, and other areas.
Thank God I'm not the only person that feels this way. And that just made me more confident as a business owner, because I was like, okay, this is perfectly normal to feel like you have zero confidence and you're not doing a good job.
Mendez runs an event management company in Indian country, and just being able to relate to other tribal business owners just made all the difference.
That was probably another big thing that came out of Innu Nations, with a network and just being able to talk to people.
They allow different resources available to all Natives. Let's see what we can do with them today. I mean, that's what I have, is my culture, and I've kind of built my career, my business kind of around that, just because it means so much to me. and I wanted to kind of convey that through my jewelry.
And Kemp will be doing just that, with now even more tools on her work table. In Phoenix, Sammy Giebers, Cronkite News.
Right now, Morris is looking to start the next stage of the initiative with possibly more business owners in another round of entrepreneurs.
It began as an assignment in a college photography class, but turned into something way more meaningful. Reporter Gabriela Becerra introduces us to one Valley photographer whose work with the homeless led to a gallery of characters.
1, 2, 3.
Samuel McDonald is a photographer and a former employee at Andre House, a ministry to the poor and homeless in downtown Phoenix.
All right, good lighting.
Now, he volunteers his time to take black and white portraits of guests at the Andre House. For many, this is the first or only photo they have of themselves.
It's nice to hear from people say like, oh, like, I really love the pictures I have of myself now.
Terry Clark says this will be the first photo with his dog named Dirt.
When she passes, I'll still have a loving memory of my dog. And other people can see how it was with my dog. Pretty, huh? So pretty, daddy girl.
The portraits hang on a wall leading into the dining room in the Andre House.
The idea of, hey, let's bring our guests in and like put portraits of them on the walls and make them feel like there's something that is worthy of being photographed.
Over the years, the photo collage has grown and the people have come and gone.
On any given day, it could be the last time you see one of our guests for either a bad reason or a good one.
Each photograph comes with its own story.
We used to call him Dave the Butler. That's what he preferred to be called because he's always helping people out if you needed something. He passed away last year. And that was one of those times where like my work that I do now and my work here at Andre House kind of intertwined.
McDonald now works as a death investigator for the Maricopa County Office of the Medical Examiner.
The detective called me and said, hey, can you come out to this thing that's happened? And I was like, all right, sure. So I get out there, and it turned out to actually be him. So that was a little bit strange.
McDonald has also seen lives change for the better. The first time Wilfredo Gonzalez had his photo taken by McDonald was as a guest.
You know, he really liked it too. He do it like with his heart.
Now, when Gonzalez has his photo taken, it's as an employee of the Andre House.
It was a big surprise, you know, they was interested in the job I do. So, and I become one of them.
Although he can't find them all, 3 of the photos of Gonzalez now hang on the wall.
My another photo, for some kind of reason, it disappeared from here. Probably I have a fans.
In downtown Phoenix, Gabriela Becerra, Cronkite News.
Since leaving the Andre House, McDonald still comes by to take photos every once in a while. He will post signs around Andre House letting people know when he will be setting up. Guests can usually pick up their photos the next day.
Join Emmy Award-winning CNN anchor Anderson Cooper as he receives the 2018 Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism. Attracting industry leaders from the media, politics, business, and education. The award luncheon is the Cronkite School's signature fundraising event. Tickets for the luncheon ceremony on Wednesday, October 17th at the Sheraton Grand in Phoenix are available for sale at cronkite.asu.edu/luncheon or call 602-496-0482.
I'm Judy Woodruff, anchor and managing editor of the PBS NewsHour. The journalists of tomorrow face a fast-changing media landscape, but quality news remains vitally important to our communities, our country, and our world. At ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication, students learn solid, reliable reporting, holding the powerful accountable, and rebuilding the public's trust. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
If you're looking for one show that tells you what happened that day in the world of business, it's NBR.
We saw a classic shipwreck.
Nordstrom's opening stores.
Triple-digit gains.
Crude climbs.
We're there to help our audience find new investment ideas.
The market still has room to go up.
Nightly Business Report is the longest-running business television program in history.
Weeknights at 10:30 on Arizona PBS.
Choosing to pursue an online education over a traditional classroom education. I went to Tempe to talk to one student who depends on online classes for her degree.
Have fun with it. Not serious. Not too serious. There we go. Whew. Somebody's got to go do some leg days.
Add leg days to the busy schedule Emily Vance already has.
One step that way. I don't want to look like you have a cactus coming out of your head. Thank you.
Vance owns her own photography business and works full-time.
Mr. Fox, do you want to come help me take a picture? You want to come push the button? We're going to take a picture of Mom.
She's also a full-time college student, working toward a bachelor's degree in digital photography. And she goes to school every day from home.
I actually have been going to school for the past 8 years, and that is the only way I've been able to complete my degree or get close, because just the regular school didn't work for me. Going to class in that structured routine, I didn't like it. So one more year left, hopefully.
And she's not the only one pursuing an online education. Over 5.8 million students are taking online courses across the U.S. And at Arizona State University's online program, there's been a 60% increase of online enrollment since the 2016 school year.
When you're studying online, you're learning to interact and engage with people at a distance that will serve you in your lifelong career forever.
Vance believes the flexibility and accessibility of online classes serve her perfectly as well.
It's the only way I can finish my degree, because just with my crazy work schedule, I can't have a normal class schedule.
And for those thinking about starting an online degree, Vance says to just take it one step at a time.
So just take one class. You don't need to go full time. It's not a race, especially if you have a career or kids or just a busy life. It's okay to take 8 years to go to school.
And she can't wait to finally earn that degree.
So now that I can see that the end is in sight, now I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this. Let's just max out however many credits I can take per semester and get it done, because I'm ready.
There are over 150 degree programs, both graduate and undergraduate, offered at ASU Online.
Being prepared during an emergency could save a life. A new grant has the Phoenix Fire and Police Departments teaming up to educate the community on how to stop the bleed. Reporter Tanaya Williamson joined them downtown for training.
We all have the ability to help each other. We cannot always just rely on the fire or PD. We have the ability to do it ourselves with this type of training.
In moments of crisis, it is sometimes hard to know what to do.
That's what we're doing here today with Downtown Phoenix Incorporated. We're preparing them for active shooter and mass casualty type incidents. The police department is training them in run, hide, and fight, and the fire department is training them in stop the bleed.
The classes are funded through a complex coordinated terrorist attack grant from FEMA. Stop the Bleed encourages everyday people to step up during life-threatening emergencies.
You can bleed to death in about 5 minutes. So controlling bleeding is all about pressure and compression. A tourniquet is just a way to provide an extreme amount of compression to an area so that you can stop bleeding.
And in that mass casualty situation, police advise, run from the attacker, hide if you can find a safe spot, and fight if it is the last option.
If they don't have a plan, then what tends to happen is people freeze, and that's valuable time that you could have used to help get yourself out of the situation or help survive the situation.
For people like Chris Spale, learning to apply a tourniquet was the biggest takeaway.
We've learned how to both do it to an individual, somebody there, and also to ourselves, the proper way as far as how tight. Also, if somebody's probably going to tell you that hurts or something like that, you still have to do the tight part and get it done properly and stuff like that.
In downtown Phoenix, Tanaya Williamson, Cronkite News.
Classes are available across the state. Go to bleedingcontrol.org to find a class near you.
More recess, more playtime, and more exercise for Arizona students. Arizona recently implemented a new law that requires schools to give children in kindergarten through 3rd grade 2 periods of recess. But Cronkite News reporter Micah Bledsoe spoke with a Chandler mom who's concerned that her child does when recess is canceled.
Before this fall, kids in Arizona only got 1 period of recess. A recent report published by the American Academy of Pediatrics suggests that play deprivation is associated with increasing rates of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Alexa Jones, a 7-year-old who enjoys recess, says sometimes though recess is canceled, Basha Elementary keeps students inside when there's a heat advisory or rainy days. When that happens, they participate in play programs like Go Noodle or Just Dance, where students play interactive learning games in the classroom.
Yeah, I don't like it when they take away my recess because I like to play with my friends, and when they take away my recess, I don't get to talk with them very much.
Her mother, Carrie Jones, says recess is a huge part of Alexa's day.
I'm just seeing a lot less anxiety and stress. She's more calm when she comes home. She's just not utterly exhausted.
Although she is happy about the new law, Jones says her main concern is when recess is canceled due to heat advisories or taken away as punishment.
And a lot of times what's sad about that is the kids that lose their recess are usually the ones that need it most. They're the ones that, probably act out in class because they have so much energy.
Santan Charter School principal Amanda Arrington says that kids need to move, which is why her school is doing more than giving elementary kids 2 recesses.
Our 5th, 6th, and 7th all have a lunch recess where they can play on the playground equipment, tetherball, foursquare in the field.
Arrington says the recesses help decrease discipline in the school and increase engagement in the classroom.
But we have to also remember that they are still children, and just developmentally, they're not quite ready to sit for 8-10-hour days.
In Gilbert, Micah Bledsoe, Cronkite News.
In August 2019, the Arizona law will extend to include 2 recess periods through the 5th grade.
I'm Ted Simons, host and managing editor of Arizona Horizon. The 2018 election season has arrived. Join us for primary and general election debates. Right here, meet the candidates and hear their positions. Arizona Horizon, your source for what matters most this election season. Only on Arizona PBS.
The mountains surrounding the Phoenix metro area offer individuals the chance to escape concrete, but that doesn't necessarily mean other people. Despite over 200+ miles of public trails for outdoorsmen to enjoy, population increase in the area is leading to crowded mountains and issues for users. Jake Trybulski reports.
As people continue to flock to Arizona's most crowded city, traffic is appearing in places without paved roads.
We like to say that our trails are loved to death, and that really is true.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the Phoenix metropolitan area has grown about 13% since 2010. More people in the area means more people looking to enjoy the Phoenix outdoors. City trail counters tallied over 3,400,000 users in 2017. That's according to the City of Phoenix Parks and Recreation Department. Phoenix trails take such a beating, it makes it hard for city employees to keep up with.
There's a lot of volunteer hours that we get every year, and we couldn't operate without that.
In order to fight the decay of trails, groups such as the Gravity Riders Organization of Arizona promote trail advocacy. They frequently hold trail maintenance days to protect the land. As population increases, maintaining existing trails is one issue. Keeping people on them is another.
Sometimes we'll do an entire trail day that's all we're doing is just cutting off shortcuts or repairing damage from people cutting around things.
Wandering off the beaten path raises huge safety concerns. With unmarked trails, when a user becomes lost or injured, it becomes extremely difficult for rescue teams to find them. And the scary part is, a lot of people don't realize they're in an unsanctioned trail at all.
One person going off trail leaves a path for others to follow. Once other people start following, that increases the trail, makes it more appealing to others to use, whether they know they're doing it or not.
The ecosystem is sensitive. And Gronseth says with users wandering off sanctioned trails, it could damage the landscape and pose threats to wildlife. In Phoenix, Jake Trybulski, Cronkite News.
Voluntarily getting into a sub-zero temperature chamber after a tough workout might seem extreme, but that exact method is letting Phoenix Rising players avoid injury with USL playoffs approaching. Cronkite sports reporter Ricardo Avila gives us an inside look.
Phoenix Rising is putting a spin on the term home field advantage, battling the extreme heat of Arizona summers with the extreme cold that comes with cryotherapy.
I hate the cold, but this is a very good process. It helps your body recover a lot faster than not doing it. It's three and a half minutes of just sacrificing. If you get through those 3.5 minutes, I bet you'll feel 10 times better after you're done with it.
Feeling 10 times better is what cryotherapy is all about. With their season lasting up to 10 months and frequently playing in temperatures well above 100 degrees, players know recovery is key to their success.
It's a great experience for us because it gives us the opportunity to recover to the best of our ability, and so that we can perform at the highest level that we do. Just get in there, you'll be fine. Trust me, you'll feel great afterwards, so it's all worth it.
Even though temperatures in the cryo chamber can drop to negative 170 degrees Fahrenheit, and some might see that as torture, it definitely has its benefits.
And what we find is that we're able to get the guys back to 100% faster than when we were not doing cryo, and also we're able to train at a higher level because their tank gets filled up or their energy gets filled up faster.
Whole body therapy is essentially just for reducing inflammation, increasing range of motion, all those things, because when you're practicing and playing games, it's hard on your body's trying to recover.
As Rising enters the final playoff push, the team remains hopeful of surpassing last year's first round elimination. In Scottsdale, Ricardo Avila, Cronkite News.